Hello Internet, welcome to Lex Universe. So, as the world is slowly waking up from this nightmare, most of the businesses are getting back to normal. But there is still one place that I believe will still reminiscent of a ghost town, even now in the end of May. And that's the airport. So today we are at the Prague Airport. As you can see, it's fairly empty. So in the span of this video I will show you the terminals. Let's see what is open, what is closed, what the situation is here on the airport, and then I will take you to the air side of the airport. We will check what the airfield looks like. We will take a look at the parked aircrafts and get a general idea how this airport was affected during the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic crisis. So let's go inside. As you can see, as of right now, when we do not count the few flights that fly regularly, the whole airport is basically out of operation. This hasn't happened since 2010, when the infamous Icelandic volcano erupted, stopping all flights over Europe for 3 days. But such a massive cancellation of flight and interruption of air travel hasn't happened in its entire history. The terminals are basically empty. You can only see some of the stuff and a few travelers. I have managed to find only one open shop, which is the supermarket, and one coffee house. I can't believe this is a working airport. You know what it reminds me of? Once I saw these shots from the new airport in Pyongyang, which is so large, so modern, and there were like no people. And this looks really similar. But hopefully this is really just temporary. If you want to see the real scale that the corona crisis has on the Prague Airport, here is some statistics. The number of passengers going to the Prague Airport during April 2020 has dropped 99%. To put this into context, it basically means that the number of passengers that went through the Prague Airport during April 2020 is pretty much the same as the number of passengers that went through the airport within 2 hours last year. That's insane. But like the old saying says, it's always darkest before the dawn. And there are already glimpses of hope going on the airport. Several of the airlines have started renewing some of their flight route. Let's check it out. Czech Airlines, the member of the Smartwings group and the Czech national carrier, has already renewed 5 routes. There are direct flights to Amsterdam, Stockholm, Frankfurt, Bucharest, and Paris. The Dutch carrier KLM has renewed flights to Amsterdam. Eurowings flies a direct route from Prague to Düsseldorf. 2 of the flight routes have not been interrupted at all, and those are the Belavia flight route to Minsk and Air Bulgaria to Sofia. There are 3 more routes that will be renewed in June, and that is Air France to Paris, Swiss International Airlines to Zurich, and Lufthansa to Frankfurt. On the July the 1st, Finnair also starts flying from Prague to Helsinki. So as I said, there is like 6 flights a day here at this moment, and the most absurd thing I can see here is they're actually using both terminals and like this terminal 1 that is used only for non-Schengen countries is actually used only for flights to Sofia. If you're ever here in happier times and you have some time to spare, there's this nice viewing platform, but right now It looks so creepy. To be honest, it looks even creepier than the city center during the quarantine times. This is so sad. I really hope that we will be able to fly again soon. Somewhere at least. The hygienic measures taken against the COVID-19 on the airport are basically the same like everywhere else. You have the disinfection at almost every corner. You're required to wear a face mask or cover your nose and mouth in any way. You need to keep distance from other people, at least 2 meters, and not form larger groups. But at the moment, forming larger groups is not the issue. And now the more interesting part. We're going to the air side of the airport. We'll move to Terminal 3 and I will take you to the airfield and we'll check the parked airplanes. Let's go. So let me mention the sponsor of this video. Do you like reading? Because if you do, you should check out Audible, an online database of audiobook. If you follow the link in the description below, you will get a free subscription for 1 month that you can later cancel at any moment and still keep 1 free audiobook. So it's a win-win scenario for anyone. For the rest of you, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, please consider subscribing to my channel and allow notifications not to miss any future updates. Thank you. And as all the flights are basically cancelled, SmartWings Group has been forced to ground most of their fleet. They're all here parked on this runway. Now you can see Boeing 737s and Airbus's A319s, which form the majority of their fleet, but you can also see Boeing 737 Maxes that have been grounded a year ago. As you can see, the sensors of most of the aircraft have been covered so that they don't get damaged. You can recognize the 737 MAX because since they have been out of service for more than a year, their wheels are also covered, and it will take much longer to get them back in the air. I guess the largest issue that there is with traveling at the moment is that it's basically impossible. While it is not forbidden by law, it's really complicated. The citizens of another country are not permitted to come to the Czech Republic, and the Czech citizens are required 14 days quarantine or COVID negative test upon arrival, which makes any kind of traveling for tourism really unpleasant. So even though there are these flights, there are very few people that actually use them. The only part of the airport day-to-day business that hasn't been affected in a very significant way is cargo. As you can see, there are still direct cargo routes that come to the airport and go back. There are regular routes by Qatar Airways cargo to Doha and Budapest, and by Turkish cargo to Istanbul. And as you can see, there are still some medical deliveries from China. And now on a bit of a more positive note. While it looks like the airport is totally dead, it's slowly waking up. As you can see, planes are still taking off and landing, and people are starting to travel again. So hopefully this crisis will not last that long. So I hope you found this video interesting. It was a lot more depressing than I thought it would be. But let's end on some positive note. More and more flights are returning back to this airport, and I believe that's a worldwide situation, so hopefully we will get somewhere near to normal anytime soon. Maybe not, let's see, but we can still have hope. Anyway, if you like this video, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, check out my other social media, and see you in the next video. Ciao.